Hey everybody, let's go to the Met. We're going to take a virtual field trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Hello amazing artists, welcome to my virtual field trip. Can anybody guess where we are? I've got a hint over here in the corner. Did you say New York City? If you did, you are correct. Yay! One of my favorite things about visiting New York City is that art is everywhere you look. You can see art just by looking out your window or walking down the street. Not only can you see art almost everywhere you look, you can also visit many amazing museums, like the American Museum of Natural History, the Whitney, the Guggenheim, and the Museum of Modern Art. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're visiting the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Met Museum is located on the edge of Central Park. There are over 250 rooms, and the museum spans over 13 acres. That's big. Not only is the Met full of amazing art, but it's also full of amazing places. One of my favorite places in the Met are the Great Hall Steps. The Great Hall Steps lead the way to the galleries that are on the second floor. Can you guess what's underneath the stairs? Underneath the stairs are galleries that are nicknamed the Crypt. These galleries are filled with treasures from Byzantine Egypt. Another one of my favorite places to visit is the Temple of Dunder, an Egyptian temple built by a Roman emperor over 2,000 years ago. It was given as a gift to the United States from Egypt. Dismantled in Egypt, the temple was put back together block by block in the museum. Some of my other favorite things at the Met Museum are paintings and sculptures. There are over 2 million works of art in the museum. I wish I could show you all of it, but that might be a really long field trip. How about checking out a few of my favorites instead? Let's go. Keep an eye out for the red boxes for interesting facts about the artist or questions that you can answer. Our first painting is Mata Primavesi by Gustav Klimt, painted between 1912 and 1913. Mata was 9 years old when Gustav painted her portrait. He actually painted her in 2 different outfits before finally asking a friend to make the dress that she wears in the final painting. If you were going to have your portrait painted, what do you think you would wear? You probably know who this guy is, Vincent Van Gogh. Vincent painted himself quite often to practice his painting skills. This painting is titled Self-Portrait with a Straw Hat, painted in 1887. Pretty clever title, right? But guess what? On the other side of this painting is another painting called The Potato Peeler that he had painted 2 years before. Do you like to use both sides of your paper when you're making art? This painting is by Claude Monet. Can you guess what it's of? Those are haystacks in the snow. This painting is actually titled Haystacks, Effect of Snow and Sun, painted in 1891. Monet painted these haystacks in all seasons, studying the way the light and the weather in different seasons affected how the haystacks looked. Can you guess how many haystacks paintings he painted? 30. What's something you like to draw and paint over and over again? This is a study for a Sunday on La Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat, 1884. Why do you think he would title this painting a study? A study means it was practice for another painting. The final mural-sized version of this painting hangs at the Chicago Art Institute. This painting is done in the pointillism style. The entire picture is made up of small dots of different colors. In this painting, the dots are larger and like paint swatches, and in the final painting, the dots are much tighter and smaller. How many umbrellas or parasols could you spot in this painting? This is Autumn Rhythm No. 30 by Jackson Pollock, 1950. It is one of his largest paintings, painted with the canvas on the floor not yet stretched onto a canvas frame. The paint was both dripped and poured onto the canvas. Some people love Jackson Pollock's paintings and others don't like them at all. What do you think? This is Mark Rothko's number 13, white, red on yellow. Rothko often used colors in his paintings to convey different emotions. What kind of emotions do you think he was trying to make the viewer feel with this painting? And while working on this painting, Rothko sometimes painted it with the canvas upside down. So if you look closely, some of the paint drip up instead of down. This painting is titled Air, 24 Hours, 5 p.m. by Jennifer Bartlett, painted in 1991 to 1992. This painting is a part of a series of 24 paintings, one painting for each hour of the day. If you look closely in the corner of this painting, you can see a clock for the time this painting represents, 5 p.m. Each painting is a different scene from Bartlett's home and studio. The colors of this painting are my favorite part, especially the way the orange fish stand out from the green background. If you could pick your favorite time of day, what would it be? And if you could paint a picture of that time of day, what would it look like? This is Lucas 1 by Chuck Close, painted in 1986 and 87. Chuck Close is known for his very large and realistic paintings of his friends and family. But what's most interesting about his work is that when you look closely, like in this picture below, his paintings are actually made up of a grid of abstract shapes. This painting is Cow's Skull, Red, White, and Blue by Georgia O'Keeffe, painted in 1931. Georgia O'Keeffe lived in New York City and often painted the buildings of the city around her. But around 1929, she began to regularly visit New Mexico, where she eventually moved, and her paintings changed as her interest in different landscapes changed too. This painting reflects that change as she was influenced by the nature and landscapes of New Mexico. Georgia O'Keeffe considered bones very lively, and she enjoyed painting them. What's your favorite place to go? What might you like to paint or draw from that place? Welcome to Mrs. N's Palace, created in 1964 all the way to 1977. Check out this large sculpture by Louise Nevelson. If you were in 3rd grade last year, we studied her work. Nevelson's work was often made from scraps of wood found on the streets of New York as buildings were being renovated. Nevelson's work was always monochromatic, which means it was only one color. If you could make your artwork one color, what would you make it? This is Equilibrium by Carmen Herrera, painted in 2012. Carmen Herrera has been painting abstract geometric paintings her entire life. However, she only began to finally gain fame for her paintings in her 90s. She will actually turn 105 on May 30th. She has painted in this style for over 70 years. What is your favorite way to create art? Do you think you might enjoy creating art in that same way almost your entire life? My last painting is Blue, Green, Red, 1963 by Ellsworth Kelly. Kelly emphasizes color and shape in his work. He worked in a style that is referred to as the hard edge style, in which shapes or lines are sharply defined. This painting shows one of the complementary color pairs we studied. Can you name it? It's red and green. Looks like we have come to the end of our tour. I could show you a million more works of art, but we will have to save some of those for another time. In the meantime, check out the Met Kids page on metmuseum.org. You can explore the whole museum using a really cool interactive map. Before you go, think about a few of these questions. What was your favorite artwork you saw on this field trip? What was your least favorite artwork? Draw your favorite piece from our field trip and share it with me. Tell me what you would like to see if we could visit this museum in person. I hope you enjoyed our trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. I hope you have an awesome summer.